Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss about the topics under Java programming. The first topic we are going to discuss is data types. The most important and valuable concept in Java and any programming language, we must aware of the language fundamentals like the data types. So let us understand what is the importance of this data type. For example, if we have the expression or one statement like C is equal to A plus B. Suppose I have written one statement like C is equal to A plus B. Here, if we want to perform the operation like A plus B, this A and B should get some values. What are the values we are going to provide? Based on that, the A and B type is going to be decided. Suppose if I have provided the value like 10 to A, the value 10 to A and 5 to B. In this case, what is going to be happened? This A, it contains the integer type value and B contains also integer type value. Means by seeing this statement, we can able to understand that for any statement, if it contains some variables, those variables should contain some type. So, what are the different data types available in Java? Let us understand clearly. Because Java is having the one of the most important feature called robust. Java is robust, means it is strong. How can we say that it is strong? It is strict in data types, or it is strongly typed language. That's why data types are having that much importance in Java. So the first one, if we observe, Java is strongly typed language, means whatever the statement we are using, if that statement contains some variables or one expression, the variables will contain data type. Based on that, if we have performed some operation, then it is going to evaluate and give the particular data type related value also, right? Second one, if we observe, the safety and robustness of the Java language is in fact provided by its strict type. So here, by saying these two statements, we can able to understand that one is Java is strongly typed, and also whenever we are using some or whenever we are assigning some values to the variables, at that time it is going to decide which data type you have declared and what type of value you have assigned, or what is the value you have assigned. Is both are same or not? If both are having any difference, in that case it is going to give us some compile time errors also. If the declared type and provided value to that particular variable is different, in that case it is going to give us the compile time error also. So that we have to be very careful while assigning the values to the variables also, right? So data types are strongly typed. Second one, data types are strict, right? And then, so here also we can able to understand the first one is every variable and expression must be defined using any one of the type. So there are different data types. Whatever the variable we are using, that variable should contain one type. And also, if we are using the expression, after evaluation of the expression, it is also going to give us one value. That value should contain one type. And the second one, the parameters to the method also should have some type and also verified for the type compatibility. Means if we are using some methods in the program, so the methods may contain some parameters. What are these parameters? We will see later, don't worry at this stage. But the first one, what we have discussed is variable contains the data type, and also if the expression is evaluated, whatever the result it is going to give us, that result also will contain one type. And the second one, if we have used one method, the method will contain, if the method contains some parameters, In that case also, the parameters will be defined with the data type only, right? In Java, what are the different data types we are having? Essentially, in Java, there are two types of data types. The first one is primitive data type. Under the primitive data type, there are four categories. So, data types are of two types essentially. One is primitive data type. Under the primitive data type, the first one is Boolean. Second one is character. Third one is integer. And the fourth one is floating point type. So, based on these four, the variables should contain some type, right? Similarly, apart from the primitive data types, we are having the non-primitive data types also. Let us see what are the non-primitive data types. The first one is arrays. Arrays are non-primitive. Second one, strings. Third one, classes, and also the events. Means here in Java, there are two kinds of data types. One is primitive and the second one is non-primitive. Under the primitive data types, we are having Boolean data type, character, integer, and floating point. Similarly, we are having different non-primitive data types. What are the non-primitive data types we are having? Arrays, strings, classes, and events, right? So here, actually the primitive data types are essentially four categories, but the primitive data types are defined are categorized like under the Boolean data type, we have single data type, that is Boolean. Next, we have the second category is character. Under this character, we have one data type, that is char. So this is the second one. And next, floating point type we have. Under the floating point type, based on the precision or accuracy we are using. So the floating point types are divided into two types. One is float of single precision and the second one is double data type. Means 1, 2 and the float is third one, double is the fourth one. Like that, if we see the fourth category, that is integer category. Under the integer, what are the different data types available? The first one is byte. Second one is short. Under the integer, short is the second one. So this is the sixth one under the primitive data types. And int is seventh one and long is the eighth one. Means by seeing this, we can able to understand one point, that how many primitive data types are available in Java. The number of primitive data types available in Java are 8 data types are available. What are the 8 data types we are having? Boolean, char, float, double, byte, short, int, long, like this. So these are the primitive data types. Now primitive data types actually of 4 groups. Again 4 groups can be categorized into 8 different types. So these are the 8 different types under the category of primitive data types. Like that, non-primitive data types we are having. The non-primitive data types are arrays, strings, classes, interfaces and events. Let us see these data types one by one. The first one, let us consider the first one as integer group. This is the most frequently used data type in any programming language. Like in Java also, the most important data type is integer data type only. What this integer data type contains is, the first one is byte, short, int and long. Let us see one by one. The first one is byte. Let us understand about this byte data type first. What is this byte? The name itself is byte, means how much size it is going to contain. Here the smallest integer, under the integer group we are having 4 data types. The first one is byte. It is the smallest data type in Java, right? What is the size of this one is actually it is of 8-bit type, nothing but 1 byte. That's what the name is byte. Under the integer we have the first category is byte, and also what is this byte or what is the size of this byte is 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits, and also what is the range of this 1 byte is means while assigning the values to the variables, how much value we can give. For example, if we have one data type or one variable of byte data type, suppose byte space b is equal to, how much value we can provide? The value range will be from minus 128 to 127. So by seeing this minus 128 to 127, nothing but it contains the combination of negative values and positive values. So from minus values to the positive value, like minus 128 to 127 including 0 also, so that if I assign the value byte b is equal to 10, whether it is valid or not. By seeing this range we can able to understand, we can give the value between minus 128 to 127, so that whenever we assign byte b is equal to 10, it is going to be the correct one. We can assign the value like this. Byte is the data type. One more variable I am taking like a, it contains the value like minus 125, whether it is valid or not. Yes, the range is from minus 128 to 127, so that byte a is equal to minus 125 is also the valid statement only. And for example, if we assign byte space c is equal to 128, now tell me, byte space c is equal to 128, whether it is valid assignment or not? No, byte c is equal to 128, but the range maximum value is 127 only. I tried to assign 128, so that whenever we compile this statement, the compiler, Java compiler is going to give us an error, that is the value is going to be missed, means byte is required but int is found, means in Java whenever we assign one value of integer type, like 10 is one integer, minus 125 is also integer, 128 is also integer, but based on this range we have assigned the values and that range is between, there is no problem. But whenever we consider byte space c is equal to 128, this is not the correct way, because 128 the value is beyond the range of byte. So here expected or required is byte but provided is integer. So that type of error is going to be raised. So it should not be this way. Next, variables of type byte are especially useful whenever you are working with a stream of data from a network or file. Now, by seeing this statement, we can able to understand one point, that byte is actually of 8 bits only. So for which computation you are going to use this one, whether it is proper way or not by using this means, so actually where we are going to use is in the concept of streams concept, means stream IO or file IO. While using the file concept, so files can allow the data either in the form of byte stream or character stream. So whenever we want to use the byte stream, then in that case we can use the data type is byte. So where the byte data type can be used frequently is in the case of whenever we are using the concept called streams, file input stream, file output stream, such type of classes if we are going to use, in that case the data can be in the form of bytes, right? So or another form is if we want to transfer the data on from one network to another network, on the network if you would like to transfer, in that case also the most preferable data type is byte, right? So what is the byte is comes under the integer group, and what is the size of this byte is 1 byte, nothing but 8 bits, and it is also the signed data type or signed integer like signed 8-bit type, and it contains the ranges from -128 to 127, like that we have seen. What are the applications of this byte is it will be used in the form of streams, like whenever we are using it for the files or the network, the byte is the preferable one, like that we have seen. Next, second one, if we consider short data type, one of the rarely used data type in Java, especially in Java, one of the rarely used data type is short. So we can use byte whenever we would like to perform the byte stream based operations, but where we are going to use this short, initially when the Java was developed, at that time the most frequently used data type is short only, because at that time the processors are having 16 bits like that. But now the processor size is changed like 32 bit, 64 bit like that. Nowadays we are using those. That's why short is not used and it is used rarely. So before that, what is this short? Short comes under the integer group, second data type under the integer, and what is the size of this short is 2 bytes size. What is the size of this short is 2 bytes, and then it contains signed 16-bit type. Signed 16-bit type means again it contains the combination of negative values and positive values. So that what is the range of this short integer is like from -32,768 to +32,767 including 0. So how it will be? So like -2 to the power of 15 to +2 to the power of 15 -1. Actually this is the actual range of short int. -2 to the power of 15 to 2 to the power of 15 -1. That is nothing but -32,768 to 32,767 including 0. So this is about the short integer. So how can we declare the short is short space s is equal to some value like for example 513 or 513 if I would like to assign. Short space s is equal to 513 semicolon. Whether it is the valid statement or not, whether it is the valid assignment or not. Yes, short is of 2 bytes and its range is from -32,768 to 32,767. So that this 513 is the valid one to assign to the variable s of type short. Yes, we can assign 513 to the variable s. So up to the range like 32,767 there is no problem. Suppose if we would like to assign short space s1 is equal to 10.5, whether it is the valid one or not. The first one we have seen that short space s is equal to 513 semicolon. Yes, 513 is in between the range like -32,768 to 32,767. There is no problem. But whenever we use like short space s1 is equal to 10.5, this 10.5 is not comes under the integer group. So that whenever we assign this value, the compiler is going to give us the error saying incompatible type, expected or required is short but provided is double type. Like that it is going to give us the error. We must be very careful while assigning the values to the integer group. Next one, till now we have seen like what are the data types. There are two data types, primitive and non-primitive. Under the primitive we are discussing about the integer group. So integer group is having 4 data types. Like what are the 4 data types it contains is byte, short and then int, long. Under these 4 we have discussed about byte and short. The third one is integer or int. The most frequently used data type in any programming language is int data type. The most important and valuable data type, int. Right. Now, the most commonly used data type is int, in Java especially, and it is a signed 32-bit type. Means, again, it is the combination of negative values and positive values. But what is the size of this one is 32-bit. So, integer is of how much size is 4 bytes. What is the size of integer? If it is int, is 4 bytes. So 4 bytes is nothing but 32-bit and it allows signed 32-bit type. So signed 32-bit size values it is going to allow. Next, what is the range of this int is like this? Or we can say simply that the range of integer is 2 to the power of 31 to minus 2 to the power of 31 to 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. So this is the range of int data type. So here what is the importance of int data type? In Java, the most commonly used or frequently used data type is integer, and then what is the size of this integer is 4 bytes. 4 bytes is nothing but what? It is of signed 32-bit and also what is the range is minus 2 to the power of 31 to 2 to the power of 31 minus 1 including 0. And actually what is the range is like this, means we can give the large numbers also under the integer. Next one, if we consider the fourth one under the integer group is long. Whenever we would like to perform the operations like the largest computations, in that case we can use the data type is long. So here the long data type is also rarely used one. It is for like the supercomputer calculations, there we will use long. And here what is the size of this one is 64-bit type. 64-bit type is nothing but what is the size of long is 8 bytes. 8 bytes, right? And what is the range? The range is like this, and we can say easily that 2 to the power of 63, that is minus 2 to the power of 63 to 2 to the power of 63 minus 1. Actually, this is the range of long data type. Long data type is comes under which group? Integer group. Under integer group, what are the data types we are having? The first one is byte, second one is short, third one is int, and the fourth one is long. Next, by saying this, we can able to understand 4 data types. Like the first one is byte of size 1 byte, short is of 2 bytes, int is of 4 bytes, long is of 8 bytes, and the ranges will be like this. So this is about the integer group under the primitive data types. Again, one more point I would like to add here. that data types, again primitive data types are divided into two categories. One is numeric data type and the second one is non-numeric data type. So under the numeric data type, the entire integer group and floating point type group will come. Means these all four integer data types like byte, short, int, long are all comes under the numeric data types. Next one is floating point group. Again, this floating point group contains two types. One is float and the second one is double data type. So under the floating point, like whenever we have to represent the decimal values, then we can go with the data type is floating point data type. What are the floating point data types we are having are, one is float and the second one is double data type. The float type represents single precision and double represents double precision. What is this single precision and double precision actually is, if you would like to compute some computation like for example 10 by 3, if I have to perform one operation like 10 by 3 by using floating point type. Suppose if you would like to see the accuracy clearly, then we can go with the double data type. Means after the decimal point, if you would like to get more than 10 digits, in that case double we can say, like even it will gives us the 14 to 15 bits after the decimal point. Whenever we use the single precision, it is going to give us 5 to 6 digits after the decimal point. Means if you would like to get the accuracy very clearly, then we can go with the double data type because it is having the double precision. And then if you would like to go with the normal accuracy, then float data type is enough. So what is the difference between single precision and double precision is based on how much accuracy you are expecting. If you want to see the accuracy clearly, then we can go with the what is double data type. Like 10 by 3, if we see how much value it is going to give us, like 3.333 like that. So at that time you can decide how many digits after the decimal point. Based on that we can use the data type like either float data type or double data type, right? And then float data type, what is the size of this float data type is 32 bits, nothing but again it is of 4 bytes in size, and it is single precision is faster on some processors and takes half as much space as double precision because it is of 32 bits and less accuracy it is going to give, even it is going to compute in faster range. But what is the range of this one is like this 3.402 82347 into 10 to the power of 38 to 1.40239846 into 10 to the power of minus 45. So this is the actual range. And then if we consider the next one, that is double, what is the size of this double data type is 64 bits. Just now we have discussed what is the double precision is and what is the single precision is very clearly. Now double precision is actually faster than single precision on some modern processors that have been optimized for high speed mathematical calculations. Like the calculations like what we can perform are related to the trigonometry operations like sine, cos, square root. Such kind of operations if you want to perform, then which data type is preferable among the two floating point data types is double. So now what are the floating point data types we are having? One is float and the second one is double we have. Float is of the size is 4 bytes and double is of the size 8 bytes, and float comes under the single precision and the double comes under the double precision, like that we have learned. and here we can see float of 4 bytes and the range will be like this, and the double is of 8 bytes, the range will be like this. Right. Next one is the third one, the most important one in Java, that is character group. So before going to discuss about this character group, I would like to explain one standard that in C language, before this Java we have the different programming languages, like one of the most important and valuable language is C language, most efficient programming language. That is also having the data type like character data type. In that character data type, what is the size of character data type in C language? In C language, it must be very clear that in C language, what is the size of character is 1 byte. Why 1 byte? Because the C language follows the standard is ASCII standard. C language, the character data type is of 1 byte. Why 1 byte? Is because of it uses the standard is ASCII standard in C language. So what is this ASCII is? American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Whatever the characters available under this ASCII only allowed in C language. But whereas in Java, it is not only of ASCII standard but also of all human languages. Whatever the human languages we are having, whatever the characters we are using, all those are included in Java. That's why it is going to be very special. That is, in Java, the data type used to store characters is char data type. So this is the keyword we have to use as char. And Java uses, what is the standard the Java use is Unicode it is going to use to represent the characters. In C language, which is standard it uses ASCII. What is ASCII? American Standard Code for Information Interchange. What is the size of character in C language? 1 byte. Whereas in Java, it uses the standard is Unicode. That's why Unicode defines a fully international character set that can represent all of the characters found in all human languages. So that the size of this character data type is going to be 16 bits. And what is the range of character is 0 to 65,536. Now, I would like to tell you one point that the character data type size is 16 bits, like short int we have seen. What is the size of short int? 2 bytes, nothing but 16 bit. But there, what is the range we have used? Minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. Because integer group or floating point group allows the signed data. Means it is the combination of both negative and positive. Whereas character, if we consider character is, it will not contain any numericals. That's why it is going to have the, each character will be having one code. That's why it will be having the range in positive way like 0 to 65,536. What is the size of character? The size of character is 2 bytes. What is the size of short? Is also 2 bytes. But what is the difference between these two? Character is non-numeric, short is numeric. That's why short allows the signed range, but whereas the character allows only the positive range like 0 to 65,536. So totally of 65,536 it contains. Next one, the last one under the data types is Boolean. What is this Boolean data type? Is if you would like to check one condition, whether the condition is true or not. In that case, we are going to use the data type is Boolean. So whenever the decision is taken, whether the decision is correct or not is going to be decided. based on which data type is Boolean data type. That's why what are the values it is going to allow is true or false value only, right? Like we can see one example here. This is the type returned by all relational operators as in the case of A less than B. Suppose here I have the condition like whether A less than B or not. Based on the values of A and B, the condition is going to be decided whether it is true or false. For example, A less than B, if we have checked whether suppose A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 5. In this case, if we apply A less than B, what is going to be happen? Is 10 less than 5? No. In that case, what is the value it is going to return? False, right? What is the last data type in Java is Boolean is the last data type, right? What are the values it contains is true or false. How can we decide is based on the condition we are using, right? Till now we have discussed like the most important concept is the data type we have discussed. Under that there are two categories of data types. One is primitive and the second one is non-primitive. Under the primitive we have discussed 8 data types. What are the 8 data types we have discussed are under the integer group 4 we have discussed. One is byte, second one is short, third one is int and the fourth one is long we have discussed. And also under the floating point group we have discussed float and double. Next one we have discussed about the character data type char, and then we have discussed about the last one is Boolean. It is going to be represented with the keyword Boolean only, but B is also the small letter, right? This is about the data types concept. So how you are going to write the statement, what are the variables you are going to use, based on that we can use the data type. Let us see one simple Java program and let us understand how can we write a simple Java program. Very basic standard, let us see that. So program structure, how the Java program will be, let us understand. The first one, it contains one keyword called class, and after that we have taken one name is example here. Actually this example is nothing but the class name or name of the class, and after that opening brace we have to use. What is the first one? Class. Class is the keyword. We have to use all lowercase letters only, like class, and then class name I have taken. Class name is our choice. We can take any name, no problem, but only the thing is we have to follow, while taking this name we have to follow the rules of identifiers. Only thing, we can take any name as the class name, but while taking the class name the condition is it has to follow the rules of identifiers, and then class will be opened and also class will be closed. Means this is the entire scope of the class. So in between whatever the code we are going to write, that entire code is belongs to this class only of the name example class, right? And after that we are talking about the simple Java program. It will contains like the comments, and then I have taken one method called main method. Means always the execution of the program, means where the execution of the program is going to start in Java is always from the main method only. What is this? Is main method. It can be called like method, main method. So how can we write the main method is like this. The first one is public, second one static, void main, and then we have to use in the main method the parameter we are going to use is string arguments. One array of strings we are going to use. How it will be? String space args of an array. Here I have taken the square brackets. These square brackets can be written after the name of this string array like args, or before the args also we can kept these square brackets. So here public static void main string args array, like that we can write the main method. So how can the Java execution is going to start from the main method? How it is going to be checked? For that purpose, let us understand clearly that here I have used the access specifier is public, means whenever the, so here what is this? Public is the access specifier who can access this code is going to be decided by the help of the access specifier called public. Whenever you keep the public as access specifier, anyone can access within the class or outside the class or outside the package, from wherever you want to access. If one method is kept with the public, it can be accessed, there is no restriction. And also static we have kept. Whatever the static variables or static methods we are having, all these we will discuss, don't worry at this stage. Static, whenever we use the keyword static, automatically the execution Java virtual machine can see that static. So public means anyone can access, and it is kept with the static. Static means it can be visible to the JVM directly. JVM is going to execute the Java program. That's why if it is kept with static, it can be visible to the JVM. That is the important point. Next one, we have one more keyword here, that is void. Void means from this main method, whether you would like to return any value or not. In Java, from main method, we will not return anything. That's why it will contains the return type as void. So static is one access modifier and it is also a keyword. And then void, it is the return type we are using. So this is the default return type. Whenever we don't want to return any value from the method, in that case we are going to use void. And after that we have the main method. So main method, from this main method only the execution is going to start. And then string args, whenever we provide the arguments from command line, those arguments values will be stored in args. Don't worry at this stage. Next one, after this opening brace, again the main method will contain the body. So what is this is, from here we have seen the scope of the class. Entire code whatever we have written, that is belongs to the class. Similarly, we have the scope of the main method. The main method is scope started with the opening brace and closed with the closing brace. And then it contains one statement as the first one, / prints hello world. Means whenever we keep / it is going to be the comment. If it is the comment, it cannot be executed by the JVM. Next one is one statement I have taken like system.out.println hello world. Means here println is the method to print something to the monitor or on to display something. In that case we are going to use the method called println. It is available with the class name is system and the reference is out. We are going to use here. So if you want to print anything in Java, we have to use the statement called system.out.println, and inside this we can return the statement like here I have taken a string like hello world. This hello world is going to be displayed whenever we execute this program, right? So here I have taken / prints hello world. It is the single line comment. So this is the simple structure of the Java program. What is this structure? Means the first one, what we have to write? We have to write the class. Class will be having some scope. So what the class will contain is, class will start with the keyword class, all are lowercase, and it will contains the name is class name. For example, here example we have taken, that is the name of the class, and then while taking the name is our choice, but while taking the name, what we have to take? We have to be cautious that follow the rules of identifier and then opening and closing brace. So this is the scope. Like that we have seen one main method also. And one simple program again to print hello world. Here you can see public class hello. Here for this class also we have used the access specifier public. Means this class also visible to from anywhere. And here I have taken the class name is hello. Previously we have taken the class name is example, and here I have taken the class name is hello. Means class name is our choice. We can take any name. And then my first Java program, it is the multi-line comment, and then public static void main string args print string hello world on screen system.out.println hello world. Suppose here I have taken one program. If you would like to compile and execute this program, as we know, while discussing the JVM architecture, we have discussed one point that whenever we have a program, this program will contain one name. For example, I would like to save this program, for example, with the name called hello.java. What is the name I have used for this file is hello.java. Whenever we have saved with hello.java, first thing what we have to do is we have to compile the Java program. So to execute the Java program, the first thing we have to do is compilation we have to do. How to compile the Java program, that also let us understand. So here we have to use the command called javac. For compilation, what is the command we have to use? Javac is the command, and after that what is our file name? Hello.java, that we have to mention. Hello.java. Here for compilation of the Java program, what I have taken? Javac space file name.java. What is our file name? Hello with the extension .java. Same thing we have to use while compiling the program. While compilation of the program, the Java compiler is going to see the total program as a whole, and it is going to check whether it is having any syntax errors or any such errors are there or not. Is going to be checked by the Java compiler. If there is no error, then the control will come and for the execution. So first one, we have compiled the Java program. Second step what we have to do is we can execute the Java program. We can execute the Java program. How can we execute? What is the command to execute the Java program is like Java space. While implementing the program, whatever the main method related class is having the class name, like here what is the class name we have? Hello. That same class name we have to use. So to run or execute the Java program, we have to use like Java space hello. So whenever we give this statement, the program is going to be executed, and what is the output we are going to get for this program is what we are printing here. We can see here like system.out.println. To print something, then we can use the method called println, and inside this what we have written, hello world. Same statement is going to be as the output, like hello world. So this will be the output of our program, like the simple Java program. Let us see simply how the class can be written. First one, class we have to take, class name it contains, and then whatever the code we want to write, we can write that, but execution always starts from the main method, right? And inside this main method simply we have one statement called hello world. So this program is related to hello world. If you want to display your name, then instead of hello world you can take your name into the double quotations. And then first thing, we have to save the program. It is preferably class name .java, then that will be good, because while executing the program we have to use the class name. That's why while saving the program also, if we use the class name, that will be the preferable one, hello.java, and we have compiled and then executed and we have got the output. So this is the simple Java program. Next one, the simple Java program, we have seen some statements like, and we have not preferred that. So what are those available is, ignore the text between slash star and star slash, means it is the like slash star some text, whatever the text star slash. So this is for the purpose of understanding the program. Suppose I have written one program, for example, if anyone would like to refer that program, then if it is with some comments, then what is the next statement, or about the particular statement or about the program, if we have written some comments, then the third person will understand easily. That's why we will use the comments, but there is no effect in our program. It is purely for the documentation purpose. So second one, documentation comment, Java doc tool uses like slash double star documentation star slash, and last one is ignore all text from slash slash to the end of the line, means if you would like to write the single line comment, then which one we have to use is slash slash. Whatever the comment we will write, it is going to be terminated at the end of the line. Suppose if you would like to write multi-line, then we are going to use this one. And the third one, if we would like to write the documentation comment, then the documentation comment will be with the double star, slash double star and some documentation star slash, like that. Here there are three comments we have seen. What is the purpose of comment? Comments will not be executed, they are going to be ignored. But what is the purpose of using the comments is for the understanding purpose. Whoever the developer developing the program, suppose the program should be understandable by other fellows, then in that case if they write the comments, then by seeing that comments they can understand what is the code actually. That's why we will use these comments. Next one. So till now we have seen like data types, and then one simple Java program also we have seen. In simple Java program, just how the class can be written, and inside the class how the main method will be written, like that we have seen. Now let us see the most important concept, like variables concept. What is this variable is? Suppose if you would like to store some data or some values in the computer memory, that can be accessed in two ways, based on the name or based on the address. Now based on the name, if you would like to access, which one we are going to use is variable. Variable is an item of data used to store state of objects, means variable is actually the data name. It will contains the value, and the variable values may change during the execution of the program. What is the variable? Variable is the data name. It is used to store the values, and those values may change during the execution of the program. Means, suppose I have one variable called a is equal to 10, for example, of integer type. Int a is equal to 10. After some time, I have performed one operation is a is equal to a plus 5. What is our a value now? Our a value initially assigned with the value 10 or initialized with the value 10, but now a is equal to a plus 5 we have written, means actual a value is 10, 10 plus 5, and now this a contains the value is 15. Means whether the variable value may change during the execution of the program or not. Yes. Now, what the variable will contains, let us see. Variable has a data type. While declaring the variable, we have to use one data type which indicates the type of value the variable can hold. Just now I have written int a is equal to 10. A is equal to 10. A holds the value 10. Because it holds the value 10, that's why it should be declared with the data type integer. So data type, every variable should contains one data type. Why? Because it indicates the type of the value that the variable can hold. Next one, each variable should have the name also. Variable should contains essentially two things. One is data type and the second one is name. Here also, while giving the name, it must follow the rules of identifiers. Next one, how can we declare a variable in Java is like this: data type space name is equal to initial value semicolon. Here why we have kept the angular brackets and square brackets, the doubt we may get, right? So data type and name both are enclosed in the angular brackets, saying that whatever is enclosed here should available for the variable. Means variable should contains the data type, variable should contains the name. Whether the variable can hold the initial value or not, but the variable should contains the type and name. Those two are essential and this one is optional, right? Like here. So how it will be? Before that, let us see one simple example for the same syntax. Declaration of variable is having the syntax like this. So what is the example? Let us see some example. Like the first one is a data type. I would like to take one variable with the name value, suppose, or I would like to take the variable name is x. So here we have to decide what kind of value we are going to store in it. For example, if I would like to store the value 10.5 in it, 10.5 in it. So my intention is to assign the value 10.5 to x in Java. Which data type we have to use is like either double or float. The most preferable one, or by default the floating point data type is double we have to use. Double space x is equal to 10.5 semicolon. According to this statement, data type, name both are essential, but whether we can assign the initial value or not, that is optional. So that another way of assigning, this is the case 1, and the case 2, if we consider for the declaration of the variable, how it will be is, for example, double space A semicolon. Here, this is also the correct way. Data type is there, variable name is also there, and it is terminated with semicolon. After some time, if you would like to assign some value like 2.3 to it, then there is no problem. Or, for example, int b is equal to 15. Int b is equal to 15, third example. So first one, we have assigned like with double data type, the variable name is x and it contains the value is 10.5, terminated with semicolon. Second case, data type is double and it has one variable a and terminated with semicolon, and after some time we can assign the value like directly like a is equal to 2.3 because a is of double type, and the next third one, if you would like to take integer type, then how it will be is like int space b is equal to 15 semicolon. Here again the names whatever we have used, x, a, b, these are our choice. We can take any name, but only thing is we have to follow the rules of identifiers. We will discuss the rules of identifiers also. Next one, what are the different types of variables we are having? Just now we have seen the definition of variable. What is the variable? What is the variable? Variable is the data name which can hold the value. That value may change during the execution of the program, like that we have seen. And how to declare the variable? The declaration will be like data type space variable name semicolon, or data type space variable name is equal to value, like that we can assign. Next one, what are the different types of variables we are having? There are 4 types we have. One is local variables. Whenever you want to use the variables along with the methods, then we can use the variables are local variables. Second one is instance variables. What is this instance variables? Is Java is an object oriented programming language. What is the object is? Object is the instance of the class. Means whatever the variables an object contains or comes under the instance variables type. Third one, static variables. Static variables are nothing but the class variables. We will see. Next, fourth one is final variables or constants we can say. What are the 4 categories or 4 types of variables we are having? The first one is local variables. Second one is instance variables. Third one is static variables. And the fourth one is final variables or constants we can say. Let us see one by one clearly. Right? The first one is local variables. Before going to see that local variables, variable declaration with multiple variable names at a time, whether it is possible or not. We can see that and later we will see. First one is type. Data type we have to use, and identifier is equal to value. Here identifier is nothing but the variable name is equal to value enclosed in square brackets, nothing but it is optional whether you will assign or not. Second one, whether you can take the second variable or not. We can take the second variable also, like that we can take n number of variables, and finally the variable declaration is going to be terminated with semicolon. Now if we see the examples, what are the examples we are having? Data type, variable name 1 or identifier 1, second one identifier 2, third one identifier 3. Means here in this case what we have done? Int a comma b comma c, where a, b, c, 3 different variables. Variable 1 is a, variable 2 is b, variable 3 is c. Means here each variable will not contain any value because it is enclosed in square brackets, nothing but it is optional. Means whether it is the valid statement or not. Yes, it is the valid statement and it is the valid declaration of the variable also. Here A, B, C, three variables of integer type. Second one, if we see int d is equal to 3, means one variable d is declared and it is assigned with the value 3. D is equal to 3, comma, E, comma. Here if we observe E is not initialized with any value, simply E is there. Next one is F is equal to 5, means here we have assigned the value 5 to the variable F, semicolon, means it is the combination of three variables, but out of the three variables declaration, two variables are initialized with the values, one is not initialized. This is also the valid one. Next one, byte hog is equal to 22 semicolon. Here we have used the data type is byte and the name of the variable is hog, and what is the value we are using is 22, whether it is the valid one or not. Byte, what is the range of byte? Minus 128 to 127. So this 22 is in between the range, so that there is no problem. Byte hog is equal to 22 semicolon. This is also the valid one. Next one, double pi is equal to 3.14159, means floating point type data 3.14159. That's why we have stored that in the variable called pi. Pi is of which data type? Is double data type. We can understand the difference between the integer data types and double data types. So in integer data type, simply we have used the value integer 3, 5, but whenever we have used the double, it is the combination of decimal like 3.14159. And the last one, if we observe, one variable k we have taken, the variable name is k, of which type? Character type, so that it can hold the values of character type. So if it is the character, characters are enclosed in the single quotations. That's why x is enclosed in single quotes. So char space k is equal to x. So here x is a character stored in the variable k of character data type. Right? Here how the multiple variables can be declared without initialization, how the multiple variables can be declared with the initialization, and how different floating point variables are declared and assigned, or how the character variable can be declared and initialized. Like that we have seen one example here. Next one, variable is initialized. Here also we can understand one point, that in how many ways the variable can be initialized. The variables can be initialized in two ways. What are the two ways of variable initialization is? One is static and the second one is dynamic. What is the difference between the static initialization and dynamic initialization? Let us understand. Suppose if I have one variable, that variable is directly contains one value, then it is static initialization. Suppose if we have one variable, that variable is going to have the initialization as with one expression, then it comes under the dynamic initialization. Let us see one example here, that I have one variable with the name n. It is comes under the static initialization. You can see here static initialization. How the static initialization is going to be? N is one variable of which data type? Integer data type, and it is directly assigned with the value 1. Int space n is equal to 1 semicolon. And after that we have the dynamic initialization. Let us see the example for the dynamic initialization here itself. How it is going to be? Int space m is equal to n plus 1. Here I have taken n plus 1 as an expression. Actually what is the value of n? We don't know. So that is going to be provided during runtime. Our initialization is m is equal to n plus 1. Whether what is the value of m now? That is going to be decided based on the value of n. So if we have such kind of initialization, those comes under which type is dynamic initialization. The variables can be initialized in how many ways? The variables can be initialized in two ways. What are the two ways of initialization? First one is static initialization. What is this static initialization? Is the variable can hold the direct value like int n is equal to 1 there, that is static initialization. Second one, dynamic initialization, means the variable can hold the expression also. If it contains the expression, nothing but that expression may be the combination of different variables. That variable value may be assigned at some place, so that at that instance, suppose this statement is available. What is the value of this variable m? We don't know, because it contains n also. It depends on the n. Right? This is about the variable initialization. Next one, if we consider the second one, is typecasting. What is this typecasting? For understanding of this typecasting, we can see another point, that like type compatibility, let us understand, and then slowly we can see the typecasting. It is the easiest one. So type compatibility, how this type compatibility will be? We can see when types are compatible, like integer types and floating point types are compatible with each other, and numeric types are not compatible with char or boolean. Let us understand this point also. Here we have seen integer and float, and the next one is numeric types are not compatible with char or boolean, because char and boolean both are non-numeric, whereas integer group and floating point group both are numeric. That's why the compatibility will be there. But while assigning the values, in which side we are using the float, in which side we are using integer, based on that the compatibility is going to be decided. We will get the errors also. That also let us understand. Next, char and boolean are not compatible with each other. Even char and boolean are non-numeric, but char and boolean are also not compatible, because char contains different characters, whereas boolean contains the decision like either true or false. It will contain just either true or false only. That's why char and boolean both are incompatible. What are the incompatible types we are having? The compatible types are integer group and floating point, but again there is the condition that in which side we are using the data type, that is going to be decided. And the next one is numeric types like integer and float are incompatible with the char and boolean, and again char and boolean are also not compatible. Now let us see this byte space b, and then whatever the byte value we are having, that we are going to store in the integer I. For example, let us say like byte space b is equal to some value 10, and then I would like to store this variable b in another variable like a is equal to b, or else we can take I. The name is user choice, you can take any name, right? Int space a is equal to b, whether the a can hold the value 10 or not. Yes, because byte is of 1 byte and it comes under the integer group, and the integer is also having the range from minus 2 to the power of 31 to plus 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. In that range it can hold any value. That's why even byte values can be stored in the integer. There is no problem. Compatibility is there. Now next one, char space c is equal to b. Char space c is equal to b. Now we are trying to store one integer value, char space c is equal to b. B is actually byte. Char space c is equal to b means one byte value like 10, we would like to store in the character C, but the character will hold the values within single quotations, the character only allowed. But here what we are trying to do, we are trying to assign one integer value to the character so that it will not allow. That's why it is the incompatible one. Even we can see not allowed because it is incompatible. So type compatibility between integer and float is there. Type incompatibility between the numeric and non-numeric is not there. Type compatibility is not there between the numeric and non-numeric. What are the numeric data types? What are the non-numeric data types? Very clearly, right? Numeric are integer group and floating point group. Non-numeric are character and boolean. Now, even non-numeric like char and boolean are also not compatible. Next one. So to perform some operations like type conversion, just now I have assigned one byte b is equal to 10 and int a is equal to b, like that we have assigned. What is the category it is, like that let us understand. Type conversion can be done in two ways. What are the two ways is, one is implicit type conversion and the second one is explicit type conversion. What is the implicit type conversion and what about the explicit type conversion is, implicit conversion is nothing but automatically the low type values can be fit with the high type values. Like for example, byte data type, if we take, the size of byte is 1 byte only. If we would like to store the value of byte in integer, then there is no problem, implicit type conversion will be done. Whenever we would like to store one integer value into the byte value, then type conversion will not be done implicitly. At that time we have to use explicit type conversion. Like here, implicit type conversion is nothing but widening. So byte value we are storing in integer, means byte needs only 1 byte of size, whereas integer is having 4 bytes. But we would like to store 1 byte in 4 bytes. That's why the size is going to be widened. That is nothing but the implicit type conversion is follows widening, whereas explicit type conversion is narrowing. In this narrowing, what we are going to do is, we are going to store one large data type value in the small one. That let us see type conversion. Widening type conversion, how it will be? Let us see. So Java performs automatic type conversion when two types are compatible. Two types are compatible means integer and floating point groups both are compatible, like that we have seen. But whether it is widening or narrowing is going to be decided now, right? Java performs automatic type conversion when two types are compatible. Second one, destination type must be larger than the source type. Let us see one example for understanding. Here we have int I, it is integer. What is the size of integer? What is the size of integer? The size of the integer is 4 bytes. 4 bytes. Now we would like to store the 4 bytes integer I in the double data type. What about double data type? Double data type, what is the size of double? Is 8 bytes. 8 bytes. Means if we would like to store 4 bytes data in 8 bytes, then there is no problem, right? Here int space I, and we would like to store the same I value inside the double variable D. So type compatibility is there. We can see once again widening type conversion. Widening type conversion is nothing but small values are going to be stored in the big values. Like for example, int is of 4 bytes. We would like to store that 4 bytes of data in 8 bytes. Yes, means the I value is going to be widened. That is nothing but implicit type conversion. Next one, narrowing type conversion. How the narrowing type conversion will be done? Initially, while starting these conversions, we have seen one word called typecasting. That concept we are going to discuss now. Narrowing type conversion. How the narrowing type conversion will be? Two types are compatible. That is the important one. Next one, destination type is smaller than the source type. Then Java will not carry out type conversion directly. Implicit type conversion will not be done. For example, int space I and then byte space b is equal to I. Suppose int space I, it contains very large values, like for example int I is equal to 10,821, for example. Int I is equal to 10,821. But whether this byte will hold that value or not? No. What is the range of byte? Is minus 128 to plus 127 only. So it is not possible. So to solve this problem, what we can do? For example, in integer, I have stored only 126 as the value. In that case, that value can be stored in the byte directly or not? No, because it is stored with the, or it is declared with the data type integer, so that we have to apply the narrowing type conversion technique. So how the narrowing will be done? Instead, we have to rely on explicit type conversion. How the explicit type conversion will be is like this. Int I, and this I is going to be converted into byte type. This is nothing but the typecasting. Typecasting is nothing but this is the destination and I is the source. The source value we would like to store in the destination, but the destination size is smaller than the source size. In that case, we have to apply the, means we are going to convert this I into byte type. So for applying the typecasting, we have to specify to which data type you would like to convert the existing one. That can be kept inside the left and right parentheses, and inside that we have to write the data type. So like this, typecasting, int I, byte b is equal to byte, means what is the general form is like this. Target type is enclosed inside the left and right parenthesis, and whatever the value we are having, that variable name we have to specify. Like int I, byte b is equal to byte of I. Even for the floating point type also we can do, because floating point and integer compatibility is available, so that float f and int I is equal to int of f, means this f floating point type is converted into integer type. Who is converting? Explicitly we are writing the statement for doing the type conversion. But whenever we have seen like one variable is available in byte, if we would like to store that in integer, then we no need to apply any typecasting. Simply the type conversion is going to be done implicitly. Whereas if we would like to transfer the larger value into the smaller one, in that case only, means if the destination size is smaller than the source size, then in that case we have to apply typecasting. Typecasting is nothing but narrowing. What is the syntax for that is like this: target type space value. Actually the existing one is float, but we would like to convert this f and we would like to store this in integer. Directly it is not possible, that's why we are converting to integer explicitly. So this is about the typecasting. What are the different type conversions available? The type conversions are like, one is implicit type conversion, second one is explicit type conversion. Implicit type conversion can also be called as widening type conversion, whereas explicit type conversion is nothing but the typecasting. What we will do in the typecasting is we will narrow the size. How? the typecasting will be is by the help of this syntax. Right? Till now we have discussed the concepts like what about the data type, what are the different data types available. Next one, we have discussed about the concept called simple Java program. After the simple Java program, we have seen about the variable concept. Under the variable, how the variable can be declared, how the variable can be initialized while declaration, or how the multiple variables can be declared, while declaration of the multiple variables, how they are initialized, like that we have seen, and after that while assigning the values based on the data types, how the conversion will takes place. Again, under the type conversion we have seen like implicit type conversion and explicit type conversion we have seen. Next one, we are going to see the concept is operators concept. The most important one, like operators concept. So what is the operator actually? First one, what is the operator actually? Operator is a symbol, or operator is a token. For what purpose? Operator is a symbol to perform the operation based on the operands. I would like to repeat once again. Operator is a symbol would like to or use it to perform the operation by the help of operands. Let us see for the better understanding of the definition. So here, suppose I have taken one operator plus, whether it is a symbol or not. Yes, it is a symbol, or even we can say it as a token. Plus is a symbol, and if we would like to perform an operation like A plus B, I have written like A plus B, and I would like to store this result in another variable like C. C is equal to A plus B semicolon I have written. In this, what we are doing here, we are using A and B as two operands, right? Suppose A contains some value and B will contain some value. So based on those values, we are doing the operation called addition, right? Addition, and then means here plus is an operator used to perform the operation called addition with the help of what? Operands. And whatever the result we are getting, we are going to store in another variable like C is equal to A plus B. Let us understand what are the operators available in Java. So first we have seen like what is the operator is. Once again, what is the operator? Operator is a symbol or token used to perform operation by the help of operands. What are the different operators available in Java? Let us see what are the different operators available in Java. First one, arithmetic operators. Second one, relational operators. Third one, logical operators. Fourth one, assignment operators. Fifth one, conditional operators. Bitwise operators. Seventh one, unary operators. And the eighth one is instance of operator. Let us see these operators one by one quickly. Right. The first one is arithmetic operators. What are the arithmetic operators available in Java? Or what are the arithmetic operators we have? The arithmetic operators are like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulo. So let us see one simple program with the help of these operators, right? So the first category is arithmetic operators. What are the arithmetic operators we are having? Like for plus, minus, asterisk, slash and percentile or modulo. Means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulo. Now, if we see one simple program related to the arithmetic operators, how it is going to be? Let us understand it. right? Like the arithmetic operators are, so let us implement one simple program on arithmetic operators. How it will be? Just now we have seen the simple program or Java program structure we have already seen. So how can we write the program here? Like class name related to arithmetic operators related demo. Let me take the name as like this, class space arithmetic demo. Means here class is a keyword, we have to use all lowercase, and then class name is our choice, we can take any name, and then it will be contain some scope, like it starts with the opening brace and closed with the closing brace like this. And inside this, let us take the first one is main method. How the main method will be written? The first one is public, second static, and void, and then main, and after that we have to write string args of an array. Like this we have already seen. Next one, let us take two variables with the values, like I would like to take two integer type values. So how the two integer type values can be taken is like int a is equal to 15 comma b is equal to 5, like that I am taking. So int a is equal to 15 and b is equal to 5. Now I would like to perform different arithmetic operations on it. The first one, let us take, what I am expecting is addition is equal to, like if we add a and b, we will get the value like 20. Addition is equal to 20, subtraction is equal to 10, multiplication is equal to 15 into 5, 75, and then division and modulo division, whatever the result we are going to get, that same thing I would like to display. So for that purpose, how can we write the Java program? So as we have already seen, like if you want to print anything, we have to take one statement like system.out.println. So how it will be? system.out.println of, I am expecting like addition is, means whatever you want to print that can be enclosed in double quotations. This string as it is going to be displayed. And after that, if you would like to print anything, then simply we can write with the concatenation operator like plus, and after that, for example, a plus b you would like to perform, that can be enclosed like this, and then semicolon we have to use. So how it will be? System.out.println, addition is going to be printed, and a plus b, a is equal to 15 and b is equal to 5, both will be added, and the addition 20 will be displayed. Next one more. Like this we can write for different arithmetic operators. System.out.println subtraction plus, within brackets let us take a minus b semicolon. Next one, system dot out dot print ln of, within brackets, multiplication plus, we have to take plus of a into b. is actually plus we have to take. System.out.println multiplication plus A into B. Like this for the different operators. Like one more, system.out.println division plus A slash B. System.out.println modulo A mod B, like that we can write. So this is the simple program, and then the main method is started here. We can close that main method also. Means it is the scope of the class and it is the scope of the main method. Inside this, just I have taken two statements like for three statements like for addition, subtraction and multiplication, along with the variable declaration. A is equal to 15 and B is equal to 5. If we save this program, with which name we can save? What is the preferable name to save? The preferable name to save is arithmeticdemo.java. With that name we have to save. And after that we have to compile the Java program. How to compile the Java program? To compile the Java program, we can use the command called java c, and then whatever the file name we are having, suppose this program is saved with the name arithmeticdemo.java, then it is going to be compiled like arithmeticdemo.java. This is what we have to take. So if there is no error in the program, then we can execute the program by using the command called java space. What is the class name we have? Arithmetic demo. Like this we can execute the program. If we execute the program, what is the output we are going to get for these three statements is addition 20, subtraction 10 and multiplication 75, like that the output we are going to get for this program. So this is about the arithmetic operators. Along with these three, we have two more. What are the two more? For division and modulo. So A by B and A mod B, that we have to write. Thank you.